Well, let's take a live look out on the city where we are expecting snow. It's coming, just hasn't arrived yet at this 5 o'clock hour, but it's going to be a big one. It's a storm that we're going to want to pay attention to.
Yeah, a lot of people are concerned that this could, in fact, be the biggest January snowstorm in 30 years. And it's expected to be some of that wet snow that we normally see in March, which means it could also cause problems pulling down trees and even power lines.
So we've got you covered. We've got a lot of folks out there ready to help you. Denver officials plan to plow the side streets this time, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But we got Kathy in the backyard. We got people everywhere covering the storm.
Yeah, lots of people in lots of places, but we want to start with Kathy and talk about the forecast and what we're expecting. And Kathy, what is it looking like at the present?
You know what? Nothing's happening right now, Tom, and that's not a bad thing. We're trying to get the evening rush underway and over with before the really heavy snow starts going and will create really big travel impacts for tomorrow. So no snow in Denver yet. Cold, though. You can definitely feel the cold. Let's go out, shall we? We'll give you a tour. Cloudy and gray this afternoon. Still plenty of snow on the ground, ice on the side streets. And yep, that will not be melting with the temperature trend I'll be showing you. Already beginning to snow in the high country, currently 30 degrees. That may be our high temperature tomorrow. Winds are light, but winds out of the east and northeast. That is an upslope wind. A counterclockwise flow of that center of circulation over the Four Corners area is making its way to southeastern Colorado, where it will tap into Gulf moisture, cold air from the north, and we'll start to see those wraparound bands of snow become very heavy during the overnight period. We're also tracking a second system due in for the weekend, so a very busy January pattern. No snow for Denver yet, but the southern mountains, central mountains, seeing that snow moving in. We expect the snow in Denver here between about 6 and 8 o'clock. We go into a winter storm morning right now through 5 o'clock tomorrow. 5 to 10 inches of snow for Denver, up to 16 in northeastern Colorado, with winter weather and travel advisories covering your favorite ski resorts and the Front Range foothills, but only marginally less accumulation. Here's the timing. 5 o'clock now. By 8 o'clock, it's here. The darker purple indicates the heavier snow bands extending from Hudson. We've got Corey Reppenhagen out there all the way through Fort Morgan into Julesburg and Sterling. This snow will continue right through the morning drive. If you don't have to drive tomorrow, I'd suggest not. There'll be school delays and closures, no doubt, due to the heavy snow that we are forecasting, but not an overly cold storm, and it's a fast mover. We're going to talk about the timing and detail the Metro snow forecast coming up.
And Kathy just mentioned Corey's out on the eastern plains where we've been hit with plenty of snow this winter, not so much in some areas. We're going to check in with Corey right now about what they're expecting in Weld County.
Yeah, you know, Kim, I'm out here in Wiggins just along Interstate 76. Just had this really thick fog bank roll in, so that means the winds are starting to turn into the right direction. And it won't be long here before we start seeing some snow, and we could get some significant snow out here on the I-76 corridor between really from Hudson all the way to the state line in Julesburg. We're talking about possibly 10 inches out here as well. I know we're talking about 10-inch possibilities in the Denver Metro as well. The thing is, we don't need as many of those variables to come together to get those 10-inch totals out here. It has to be a little bit more perfect down in the Denver area. So we're watching the I-76 corridor. It's really our job, this crew, to be monitoring that corridor from really tonight, but most importantly tomorrow morning when the activity starts to come out here and the sun starts to come out. We'll be watching this area, probably Fort Morgan to Julesburg. I-76 back here, we probably do expect on situations like this that road does close, so we'll be watching the road closures. We'll be watching the snow pile up, possibly pretty high, above 8 inches, and also a little bit of wind out here could create some near blizzard conditions. So those are the things we'll be monitoring. We'll be out here all morning from really the start of the morning all the way until we stop the newscast. So we'll be watching that for you guys.
Thank you, Corey.
Of course, in Denver, there is no snow falling yet, but there are still those partially snow-covered and bumpy roads in the metro area. That's because the plows never touched them after the last storm. Denver officials are saying they will do so this time. And Steve Stager's with us now, continuing our coverage from Denver.
But Steve, we should clarify the plows won't do the entire street. Many people think about their cars and other things. It's just one sweep through.
Yeah, Kim, and they're going to make one pass. And you think about it, with all the street parking that we have here in Denver, it's hard to clear off the entire road. So they're just going to go right down the center, one single pass. These plows will also not remove all the snow that's on the pavement. You won't see fresh pavement. It's going to leave a little bit toward the bottom there. City is activating this residential plow program because of the forecast. They do this whenever we get more than 6 inches of snow and sustained cold temperatures afterwards that won't allow the melting. Believe it or not, they say this decision was not a response to last time when they didn't activate the plows. We all know that. A spokeswoman for the city says that forecast last time was wrong, and by the time they realized it, it was too late for the plows to make an impact.
We approach every storm the same way, which is we study multiple forecasts. We look at what time of day is it coming in, how much is coming in, what are the temperatures before, what is after, what are the road temperatures, what's happening with the wind. And we make our deployment strategy based on the forecast. We did that the last storm, and the forecast was wrong.
So the baby plows are going to do one pass on the neighborhood streets while the big plows hit the main roads, and they'll scrape them as much as they need to clear them up. The big plows carry de-icer. The smaller residential plows do not carry de-icer. Now, the city will also clear all protected bike lanes, so anything with paint and posts. As for sidewalks, that is the property owner's responsibility, as I feel like we tell you just about every time we do the news here. Businesses have 4 hours after the snow stops falling to clear things up. Homeowners have 24 hours, by the way. In case you're wondering, for folks who are elderly, disabled, the city has a program called Snow Angels, where volunteers will come out and do that work for you to make sure that you don't get in trouble with the city for not clearing off your sidewalks. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, and if the sidewalk isn't cleared, remember, call your airline.
Yeah, right. Call early.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay. We want to remind you that we're going to be here tonight through tomorrow morning. We'll be talking big plows, little plows, what's going on. 9 News Mornings will start an hour early. They're going to be here at 4 a.m. And you can also stream anytime on 9 News Plus. Get you through that storm.